YouTube family, it's your girl Cindy here. Welcome back to my channel where we break down relationship dynamics in real life and on TV. Check out my playlist in the description after this video. Now let's get into this premiere episode of Married at First Sight's season 13, the Houston edition. These soon-to-be couples meet up with their family and friends to share that they are engaged and will be getting married in 2 weeks. Sidebar, Lifetime, these 3-hour episodes are team too much. Anyway, let's jump right in. First, we have Bao and Johnny. They have already tugged at my heartstrings and will probably be my favorite couple this season. Bao met up with her 3 brothers. She's the only daughter in her family. We learned that she grew up poor, which led to a tough childhood, and she feels pressure from her parents because she is 35 and still single. We also learned that she uses Excel spreadsheets for like everything, like even when she's making bread, and then she created a spreadsheet for the pros and cons to determine the value of a relationship. Like, she is no joke. She mentioned she has gone on many good first dates, but she's always thinking, what if there's someone who is a better fit? Her brothers were supportive and happy for her to get married. She asked them what advice they would give to her husband, and they said he would need to be flexible because she can be very particular, intense, and difficult at times. But they also mentioned that she is smart and reasonable, which I thought was great. Her brothers were honest, but they didn't just point out her flaws. And Johnny, who has not had a girlfriend in 7 years, meets up with his friends. We learned that he's a germaphobe, he's attracted to hygiene, and he has some control issues. But he's really down to earth and very entertaining. He likes girls that are way more into him than he is into them, and he wants them to make the first move, including saying I love you, because he wants to avoid getting his feelings hurt. His parents got divorced while he was young. His dad moved to California, and although he feels he has a love-hate relationship with his father's opinion still matters to him. When he tells his friends he will be getting married in 2 weeks, they are supportive, but they ask about his parents. He mentioned that he knows his mom will attend the wedding, but he hasn't told his dad because he feels like his dad is closed-minded. So he was kind of stressing about telling his dad. And then when he finally did call his dad was very unsupportive. He didn't approve of Johnny getting married, and he declined to be part of the filming. Johnny got really emotional, which broke my heart, and he started to second guess his decision, but he pushed through despite his dad's disapproval. Pastor Cal said they were matched because they can potentially fill in the gaps for each other. I do believe couples who have the ability to stand in the gap for each other has the potential to foster and sustain a long-term relationship. Next, we have Zach and Michaela. So Zach sits down with his parents and his brother. His parents have been married for 28 years, and both of his brothers are in long-term relationships. One of them is engaged to be married, and he feels like the odd man out. Zach doesn't give me the sense that he is actually ready to be married. We learned that his longest relationship was just 9 months, and he's never been in love. In my opinion, the experts should stay away from singles who have never been in love. This experiment is better suited for people who have relationship experience, but they are having a hard time finding their match. Just my 2 cents. But Zach is giving me Haley vibes from last season, very inexperienced and immature. When he tells his family he's getting married in 2 weeks, they are shocked. And Zach brings up his mother is always saying how no woman will ever be good enough for her children. And I think that is a terrible seed to plant in your child. As parents, I do believe we should teach our children how to be in healthy relationships, not encourage them to think no one will ever be good enough for them. His parents challenge him about his decision to get married at first sight, and his mom tells him marriage is a commitment, not just about love, which is very true, because love alone will not make a marriage last. They all got emotional, and it was a little hard to watch because it felt like his parents were disappointed in the decision that he was making, and they were making it a very sad moment. Michaela sat down with her sisters and her brother-in-law. She brings up finding a mate, and they tell her she needs someone understanding because she can be very stubborn. They also tell her that there are things she will need to adjust in order to be a successful mate. She admits she has been very shallow in the past, but she realized we all grow old, ugly, and sometimes broke. I don't know about that girl. We learned that she was homeless at one time, and that she had a really rough childhood. She was a real daddy's girl. Her dad, unfortunately, was killed by a drunk driver, and losing him has been very impactful. Her sisters are supportive, and they are excited for her to get married. Pastor Cal mentions they matched Zach and Michaela because they are a great example of what each other are looking for, stating that Michaela needs someone who will be patient with her because she can go off the rails, and Zach needs the type of excitement and joy that Michaela brings. Well, I don't know. Michaela might be a little too much for Zach, but we'll have to see what happens. Next, we have Rachel and Jose. Rachel spent the last 9 months working on herself physically and mentally following a breakup with a man that she had quarantined with. She found out he cheated on her, so she let him go, and she spent time, just getting herself together. She feels more confident and secure about herself now. She did enjoy playing house during quarantine, so she wants to give her love to someone who deserves it. She shares the news of getting married with her mother and her best friend, and the best friend was really negative, saying things like, "What if he's repulsed by you?" and telling her she's too accommodating and that she doesn't speak up enough. I didn't like the way the best friend was talking to her. It was really rude and harsh. There's always a way to say things, but be honest, but she just went about it in a very blunt and distasteful way. Jose and his damn checklist lets us know about all his accomplishments and how much of a perfectionist he is. His parents had gotten divorced when he was 18 because his father was unfaithful, but they were actually able to sit down together. It was his mom, dad, and stepmom, along with his best friend. I wonder if stepmom is the woman that dad had cheated with. They were supportive, but stepmom brings up how he likes to talk. He's definitely a chatterbox, to say the least. He said he will learn to be a better listener and talk less. I don't know about that. He seems like he's going to be overwhelming. Just listening to him talk on this episode was exhausting. So good luck to Rachel. Pastor Cal thinks Jose and Rachel will be a great match because she will be supportive and challenge Jose. I don't know about that. I can see Rachel shutting down because Jose may overpower her and overtalk her, and she already has a hard time speaking up. So I think Jose might just be too much for her. Next, we have Ryan and Brett. So Ryan is a serial dater who grew up in a small town. He has dated over 50 women in the last 5 years, and he falls in love easily. His view on life changed when he lost his best friend about 18 months. He was saying how he wants to settle down and spend time with the people who matter. Ryan actually made dinner for his family, mom, dad, and sister, before sharing his wedding news. He was really nervous, especially with his sister, because he was saying how she's very opinionated. So when he told them that he was getting married in 2 weeks, his family was a bit unsupportive. His mom gave him a WTF face. His dad made a comment about how he wishes he had a normal son, and getting married this way is very unorthodox. His sister brings up the fact that he falls in love easily. Basically, just give him about 24 hours and he'll fall in love with a girl. And she also tells us in her confessional that they used to call his girls the flavor of the week when he was younger. And as he gotten older, I guess he would keep them a little longer. So they would call the girls the flavor of the month. And that is alarming to me. He may have some commitment. Brett, on the other hand, hasn't been dating or been intimate with a guy in over 2 years. She feels like she's always committing, but doesn't get a commitment in return. She is hoping to have the type of marriage her parents has. She mentioned how her parents spend a lot of time together and they still enjoy each other, even when they're doing things they don't. She shared the news with her friends in the form of an invite to her wedding in 2 weeks, which I thought was cute, during their girls' night. And they were really excited for her, but they did mention how she is a dreamer, and they were telling her that she has to keep in mind that he is a stranger and that in marriage, it's important to hang in there, even on the days where you feel like you hate your spouse. That is a word right there. Sidebar, did anybody else notice that both Ryan and Brett cooked salmon? Anyway, Dr. Viviana says they match them because they both have a sensitive spirit who has been searching for their counterpart, and they think that they will be a natural. They didn't look too natural in the wedding photo from my. Lastly, we have Gil and Mirla. So Gil is our Colombian firefighter who is looking to find the right girl to relate to in every aspect of his life. He says he wants a 90s R&B type of love, very passionate, real, and straightforward. We learned that his father was killed in a home invasion when he was 14, so he has trust issues. He wants someone he can feel safe to talk to. When he tells his friends he's getting married, they act really shocked and they think he's joking. I mean, did they not see the camera crew? Then we have Mirla, Miss Bougie, who says she's tired of interviewing guys and that being single is lonely, and she doesn't want to be the third wheel anymore. She talks about her clothes, her facial, her Botox, blah, blah, blah. But she grew up poor and moved around a lot, so she never wants to experience that. She mentioned she had a short list of requirements, which included no bald heads, which Gil has. And then she wants someone who will enjoy the same type of... Her friends told her she might need someone who is cheap to basically get her in check, and that she is not good at compromising. Pastor Cal thinks they complement each other because Gil has the kind of sensitivity and understanding that Mirla needs, but he also mentions how she didn't want someone with a bald head. She's going to be walking down that aisle like WTF. Are they trying to create another Chris and Paige situation here? Let's get it together, experts. This episode was way too long, and I don't want to make this video any longer. So I will recap and talk about the Bachelor/Bachelorette parties along with Bao and Johnny's wedding in addition to the episode next week. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.